But that was really tough. And like all I enjoyed doing at the time was playing baseball. So I couldn't play baseball. But my grandfather is from Houston area and played in country western bar bands. And so my mom was like, "Hey, why don't you learn guitar?" And I was like, "Whatever." I had 6 different casts over 6 months. So I spiral fractured my leg. So it wasn't a compound or anything, but so 6 different casts. And I was pretty incapacitated for 6 months. So I picked up guitar. And so I've been playing guitar for 25 years. And I would not trade it for anything. Man, that's a great question. I don't remember. I think honestly, the thing that triggered it of I love this. So it's probably August, September, October, probably going into that that year of my 8th grade year. So 2001, before 9/11. I found, which I still have in my room today, my 1967 Gibson B15 in a trash can. And the bridge was lifted, and that's all that was the problem. Someone threw it away. It was a vintage Gibson acoustic guitar. And I found it in a trash can, and I took it to Mars Music, which was the predecessor to Guitar Center, and got it fixed for $180. And I bought a case, and I still have it. I still play it all the time.
Life is a playground that God has given us. It's meant for building, creating, risking, failing, learning, and becoming. Here, we will tell the stories of people who are living audaciously so that you can feel the permission to play too. So come and play with us on the Audacious Playground.
Count down from 3, then count down from 5. Here we are.
And welcome.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Audacious Playground, everybody.
Toss your pie down.
Yeah, is there any pie on my face?
If you're listening and you got pie,
Okay.
put it down.
Eat it in our office.
How have we not named the Mammoth yet?
Because its genericness appeals to all people.
And it should be left up to the listener. So if you're listening and you're on
Do you want to
YouTube
name the Mammoth?
or Spotify, we would love to get your
Shoot us
submissions.
some names.
Or go to audaciousplayground.com to see the cuter version, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just run that real quick. Let's just toss out our ideas. What do you think?
I really right now just want to name everything Tina Fey.
Tina Fey. Okay, that makes sense.
Mammy.
Mammy.
I did take the liberty of naming our new agent.
Oh, yeah?
Tammy.
You did.
It is Tammy. Because we were
Tammy.
kind of talking yesterday, it was going to be Big Bertha.
Yeah. I just couldn't get behind Bertha.
I'm still a fan.
Because that's what it kept boiling down to.
Is Tammy short for Tamitha?
It can be. Yeah.
Never have I ever met someone named Tamitha.
Till today. And Tammy is a Mac Studio for everybody who's listening.
But I feel like a good name for the Mammoth would be like Bert. Or Clyde.
What?
You know?
Clyde reminds me of a Clydesdale horse.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm looking back here.
Oh, yeah. You can't see it, John.
I can in my camera. Just a little bit.
Right.
For some reason, when I think about Bertha, I think like the male version of Bertha is Gertha. So just Gertha.
Girth. It's kind of like Garth, but bigger.
It's kind of like Garth, but it's like a big Garth.
Well, on that subject, quick introductions.
Yeah.
My name is
John
John
Mark
Mark
Buckner. If this is your first time listening to the
We
podcast,
apologize.
yes, it is like this every time. Anyway, we've got John Mark Buckner here today, and Preston Seibert. We're going to get into Preston's story today a little bit, and then myself, John McGovern,
John Roberts,
your quasi-host, as long as I don't get stepped on too much
by Gertha.
Big Gertha.
And the names we keep on referring to for people who are new is all the Mac Minis and Mac Studios on John's desk that we keep on naming as we set up agentic platforms.
The agent army. Yeah.
Yeah, the agent army.
Before we ship it off into space.
Yeah, which, I mean, that is a good topic for Around the Horn and what's making the news in the news right now. So
that's the sound effect for the Around the Horn news.
Have you guys seen? There's an announcement today about Anthropic's newest model that they're releasing. You guys seen any of that?
No.
Well, apparently,
and most of the listeners
just
know.
in.
We are an AI specialist.
Is dropping a new
on
model.
this evergreen podcast. Tell us what happened this morning, John.
Well, this caught my attention because supposedly the model is powerful enough to detect weaknesses in just about every software platform. So they've been communicating with the U.S. government about all the weaknesses that they have found in pretty much every department.
Wow.
And so with this model, they're not releasing it like they've released the other ones. It's like a selective release to, all the people that we trust the most, like Microsoft and Google and
federal government,
North
Korea,
through back channels, probably, right?
Through the Swiss.
But anyway, that is just interesting to think about. There's a step shift in ability that has just been, I don't know if released is the right word, but basically what they're saying is like, hey, this almost makes all previous security obsolete.
So wild.
Yeah. So it's like someone in the government's like, wait, so if we put it in our computer, could it like foretell any crimes that are about to happen? And like we could potentially like pre-arrest people?
Wow, that would be a great movie.
That could make a really good movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about?
Let's write that down.
Okay, we'll write that down. So AI keeps dominating a lot of the headlines. The other part of that is the Iran ceasefire went into effect today. So by the time you guys are listening to this, who knows? We might be living on stranded islands listening to long form radio because World War III has officially kicked off.
But our ham radios that we're building.
Using our ham radios. But also, I think a good piece of news in that.
Man, what a time.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
It's just interesting business world to see how quickly things are moving in the AI space. I think a LinkedIn article I saw today was about the Oracle lay off 30,000 people last couple of days.
Yep.
And it's a mixture of sad for those people, the genuine people, but fascinating how efficient remaining employees are. And instead of being a fear from these largest companies, they didn't lay off 30,000 people because they had this loss. It's like, we had lots of revenue, but we see efficiencies in other places. And so I think that's on a large scale version. Very interesting to watch that with these top 100 companies. And then we are on the other side of the spectrum in an office. We got 3 people, and I'm just looking at a picture of a horse in a picture frame, and we got a elephant mammoth back here. And so, but we're spinning out our own agent. So it's like kind of like 6 of us in the office in a sense.
Yep.
And the efficiency is crazy fast.
So is that, and then also in the music world, Bill Ackman, who's a VC, PE, I guess, if we're being proper.
Yeah.
The Pershing Group more or less offered to, it's not necessarily purchase, but to acquiesce Universal Music Group for $65 billion. And an interesting thing in there, it's like allotted $886 million would go back towards the artists in Universal, and which would be unprecedented because that's everybody's favorite word. Because with streaming platforms, it's really not for the artists; it's for the streaming platforms and for the record labels that are making that money. And so, but a lot of these artists on Universal are already making a lot of money. But it's great because it could give money back to artists. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's big news in the music world.
I think that's the largest. Would that be the largest acquisition or deal in the music space?
I feel like it would be. It has to be. What the Warner Netflix thing was 86,
wow, yeah.
but that was like Warner Media, not just music.
Check back next episode for the amendments tab to see what numbers actually were correct.
Everything I just said was wrong. It was actually $600.
Yeah, I was going to ask, didn't you submit a competing bid to Bill Ackman?
To the Pershing Group or to Universal?
We sent in our alternate offer.
Yeah, I'll give you $6.5. So yeah, that's I'm trying to think what else happened around the world. Masters are happening right now.
Yep.
Great times. Great times, fake trees, Masters.
Fake birds.
A tradition.
Fake birds.
Unlike any of them.
What about personal around the farm? What projects have y'all been working on last week or two?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just going to kick us off here. Man, been working around the clock on our agents, and then also building agentic systems, so agent-driven systems. Got a pretty major chunk done last night. So Equilibria, the pipeline, so the structure that the agent will end up driving, is now MVP.
Okay.
So minimal viable product.
Amazing.
But need to get a couple more pay pieces together. Sorry. We've got somebody at the door.
We have a visitor.
After? On the desk. Yeah. The
one of our adoring fans.
Yeah, accountant coming to hopefully drop off a check. That'd be awesome.
Uh-uh.
But yeah, that was pretty huge getting that in place, and then got a major chunk done for Vicky. She is running
one of the smaller Mac Minis on the.
So
Tammy's
Vicky is the first Mac Mini.
Sister.
And then Tammy is the Mac Studio.
Younger sister, but bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got
Gary coming.
He was supposed to be here yesterday. But
he's lost.
Yeah.
Abducted by FedEx temporarily.
I am really curious about that one because Gary is going to be on a 2018 Mac Mini. So pre-Apple Silicon. So let's see how that performs versus the others. But
thank you.
Everything that I've looked at, like we're not doing anything that's really that performant because we'll do some local modeling on the studio, but everything else is just directing.
As of now, we're not doing $250,000 a year worth of tokens.
Yeah. No.
Like NVIDIA.
Yep.
Terrifying.
But yeah, it's really cool just really digging into systems and seeing how agents can step into structured flows. Like everybody's getting a dose of AI one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of really cool demos of like, hey, I built this in an hour and it does this amazing stuff. It's like, that's cool. Will that scale? Like, does that scale out to other companies? Is that something that's like viable software or something that helps you in your job? Both are valuable. I'm not knocking like getting help on your job. But what we're setting out to do is like, where is SaaS in 12 months? Because there for a while, everybody's like, oh, SaaS is dead. That's it. It's over. And like, I don't think that that's actually the case. Like SaaS is it's fixing a problem. The problem has shifted. So SaaS will shift.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So long update, but
everything you just said, I was going to say perfectly.
But shorter.
Yeah. I mean,
last time we talked, had you gotten on Cursor yet?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Last podcast I had. Yeah. I think realizing, I think the common vernacular that's happening right now is we're like, oh, Claude Code, Cursor, I can build anything. And what I've learned is, no, you can't. If you don't have, I would say, at least a few years level understanding of coding, then it's just like you're up a creek. And you're just, what you're going to do, you're just compounding, building things. You just have layers upon layers upon layers that all like mix each other up. And it's like,
I think where AI is at right now is the equivalence of set building.
Like,
so like if you go to Hollywood, like they'll build a whole city in like a month. for a movie.
They keep
And it
painting
looks
over it over.
like it looks solid. It looks all legit. And it's like, whoa, you just built a city in like a month. But under the surface is like, oh, dude, a storm comes through, that's coming down.
It's like building a city in SimCity versus actually building the SimCity video game.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like you claim to live in the city, but
well, not so much. Both have their value, but one is like a city that can be lived in and a city that shows well.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be the case, I think, for a whole lot longer. But yeah, it's been fun over the last week. We've been discovering, I think, the limits right now, the boundaries of combining the technical with a non-technical foyer into
the non-technical thing is, I think the common person like myself who doesn't have a history in coding can build the tip of the iceberg and like, wow, look at that. That's beautiful. But then the coder, the engineer who's been doing it for years builds out 90% of that iceberg. And so like I can make it look cutesy and stuff, but once you hit it with a Titanic, well, the iceberg didn't.
And the
platforms are going to make the Titanic
blows
wait a minute.
up.
Okay.
The platforms are going to be worth keeping and able to be monetized, ones that can be scaled. And so unless you actually can tighten the bolts on the backside, it's not scalable. So anyone can go out and build something cool and post on LinkedIn and say, I made this one-off product, and maybe it applies to 2 or 3 other people, but it can't scale beyond that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the opportunity is in the combination of skilled work and technical expertise. That what we've been able to build in Equilibria in 3 weeks? Like, dude, it's up.
I asked you last week, I was like, how long where we are now, how long would this have taken you and how many people? And you said, what, like 3 developers in like 6 months? And it took John, myself, who started, coding, quote unquote, 3 weeks ago.
Vicky and
Vicky. Which, and that's cool to highlight of like, what did that actually look like? So I built the backbone. So just got the project set up and made sure we were using the right tools, and then got you running to create that visual component. But then as we were working on it together, I'm like tightening some of the technical stuff, but we were able to write our issues and then hand them over to Vicky.
Yeah,
and she
that
built
was cool.
them overnight. So she went through and made pull requests for people that know what that is.
Define overnight for me who doesn't graduate overnight. Is this
like literally
like
overnight
running code for like 10 hours? Or is this like, oh, she worked until 10 p.m. and then she accomplished it and she went to sleep for the rest of the night?
It was probably like midnight or 1 o'clock or something. So I created a cron job or repeatable job where she's looking at a specific file. And that file is saying like, hey, look at the Equilibria GitHub and go through each open issue and create solutions for them until they're done. And so it was just stepping through and knocking those off. Part of which while I was watching Survivor.
Did you just switch our faces to horizontal?
I did. So
nice.
I could see what's actually happening, what we're going to see.
Hey, I like that.
I like this a little bit more, although I don't know how to
it's good to see what we're getting. So yeah.
Tell us what you think, like and subscribe.
Name it.
Yeah. I think that's probably where we're going to end up as we get into your story, because that's what's current here and now, right?
Definitely wasn't
I'll give my quick update and then
exactly.
Circle back. My end. Lots of movement in the city of Waco as well. I had a presentation to a couple city departments about missing middle housing and fire code changes. Very interesting to learn how the different city departments value projects and watch. I was a meeting with fire department, housing development, and housing authority and economic development, and then myself. And I asked, how often do y'all meet? Is this like a quarterly thing? And they said, no, we've never all been in the same room together. And I thought, what? So, but they all have individual goals. And then the question was, how can we increase one specific style of housing? And all those people had to give input. So bringing those people to the table the first time was very interesting. And then downtown Waco's moving and grooving. Barron's Branch set to kick off later this summer, and Let's just take a moment to say spring in Texas is wonderful. We're not in a few weeks here, it'll reach 100 degrees, and then it'll stay that way through September. But until that day comes,
we're in the Gap right now.
So nice outside.
Come visit Waco right now.
Yep.
Yeah, because we're past spring pollen.
Yeah,
correct.
We're getting into where nothing lives.
Getting in a good season right here.
Cool. Wait, were there any corrections? I mean, I didn't have any from last week because I said everything correctly.
No, nobody wrote in or gave us any feedback on the things that we were wrong on. So we nailed it.
Phoned us.
Way to go, team.
Good job, guys.
There you go. Cool.
All right. So, this podcast is dedicated to getting Preston's story, the read-in. My man. I've heard you were born at a very young age. If you want to start there.
I was. So I was born at 0. Yeah. So, it's funny. I've been thinking about this podcast or this episode. I'm like, well, obviously we're believers. And so I'm talking with the Lord. I'm like, God, I don't know what to share because I don't have business acumen, like history of this. And so all I can do is I can just share what I know and what I have and failures and successes. But yeah, born in Dallas and in 1987, which now is a long time ago. Yes, young boy. Born in Dallas, lived in Plano, and it was great. I was there until I was 12, and then my dad, which we'll have in the pod soon, is a great man, and he started a company called Visual Entertainment, which if you are in evangelical Christendom, you've probably seen the movies called Visual Bible, where it was the book of Matthew and the book of Acts word for word. And so he was the president of that company, and they're some of the best movies about, the Bible, because they're
like the only movies you were allowed to watch growing up.
And
Friday night, guys, get it to the TV.
Nest Entertainment movies, which my dad was the president of Nest
yep.
as well.
I watched some of those growing up.
Yeah, so my dad was the president of that company.
There we go.
And then VeggieTales. Oh, this was something we talked about on a unreleased podcast. Was like Salty, Donut Man,
yes,
Bible Man.
Mm-hmm. You saying he helped start all these?
Do what?
Was he part of those?
I mean, he knew all the guys. Yeah. VeggieTales. Cedarmont Kids, who I grew up with. The people who did it, and pretty much every Christian song put into children's verse. Or Yankee Doodle with 2 toes. Like that type of stuff. My brother was Yankee Doodle in that music video. If you go look it up on Cedarmont Kids Yankee Doodle, he's the one riding the horse. Or I guess technically riding on pony.
Okay. I'm excited.
So I grew up around Christian media big time, and very thankful. And then the board sold Visual Entertainment to another entity, and that entity, to my dad's chagrin, he was the only one that voted not to sell the company. And the people who bought it then asked my dad to come back on as president. And then that led us to move to Nashville. And a few months into Nashville, the people who had bought it were all in different countries. And long story short, they lied and stole like 6 figures plus of what was owed to my dad. And they were all in different countries, so it couldn't be extradited or anything like that. So we had just moved in to this beautiful home in Brentwood, and we were there for a year. And then my dad went on a 2-year job hiatus, and did go through a lot of court stuff. And at some point, just felt like the Lord was just like, "Hey, it's time to stop." And so he did. He didn't get everything back that he was owed. So I share that. I mean, it's a significant
part.
How
old were you again? This was like ages 12 to 14?
This was, yeah.
So you're old enough to remember this and to feel the impact on your family.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we lived in Brentwood, and for all of our listeners who live in Tennessee, we lived in Brentmead, and Brentmead is super nice. But back in 2000, the house that we bought was like 450. Now it's like 2 million. But it was a massive house, beautiful. I'm so thankful for it. That's where I'll share this. But yeah, so we were there. So from 12 to 14 was really tough for our family. It was tough for me. April, Easter. Wow. So almost, yeah, this month, like Easter in 2001. So what was that, 25 years ago?
25 years ago.
Wow. It's 25th anniversary. I did a 360 dunk off of my trampoline.
Yeah.
And I broke my leg. I spiral fractured it.
No, like on the trampoline or like falling off the trampoline?
But there's a little tyke basketball goal on the ground. And I jumped off the trampoline, 360'd in the air, and attempted to dunk. But my brother said that I didn't make it. I didn't dunk it. So that's the worst of it. Like, didn't make the dunk, breaking my leg. It was the second worst thing.
Yeah, you should have made the dunk.
I should have made the dunk. I know.
Or at least gotten on video.
Yeah, well, this was in 2001 before they had video cameras.
This was pre-Dude Perfect.
This was pre-video cameras in 2001.
You're not that old.
But that was really tough, and like all I enjoyed doing at the time was playing baseball, so I couldn't play baseball. But my grandfather is from Houston area and played in country western bar bands. And so my mom was like, "Hey, why don't you learn guitar?" And I was like, "Whatever." I had 6 different casts over 6 months, so I spiral fractured my leg. So it wasn't a compound or anything. So 6 different casts, and I was pretty incapacitated for 6 months. So I picked up guitar, and so I've been playing guitar for 25 years.
There you go.
I would not trade it for anything.
Was it like, I love this when you started? Because I remember my first guitar lesson was like, this is a pain.
That's a great question. I don't remember. I think, honestly, the thing that triggered it of I love this, so it's probably August, September, October, probably going into that that year of my 8th grade year, so 2001, before 9/11.
Okay.
I found, which I still have in my room today, my 1967 Gibson B15 in a trash can, and the bridge was lifted, and that's all. That was the problem. Someone threw it away. It was a vintage Gibson acoustic guitar, and I found it in a trash can, and I took it to Mars Music, which was the predecessor to Guitar Center, and got it fixed for $180. And I bought a case, and I still have it. I still play it all the time.
That's awesome.
And I think, honestly, that's probably what triggered it for me, and being around it.
Trash can guitar.
And being around it. So going to a school with most contemporary Christian and country writers and singers, their kids went to this school when I lived in Nashville. And so I was around it all the time. And
like Jay-Z's kids and stuff, right?
That's LA. But yeah, and so just going to school with the children of the biggest producers, biggest songwriters, and artists in the world. Some of them, yeah. That's how I was swimming in those waters.
So I want to hear how you got to Waco.
Yeah.
Like, so I actually have never heard this.
I'm excited.
Because you started in Dallas, Plano.
Yep.
And then you got to Nashville area, Brentwood.
Yeah, so I was there from 7th grade through my freshman year of college. And I went to Middle Tennessee State University my freshman year of college.
Really? MTSU?
MTSU. Go Blue Raiders.
Yeah. Freshman year.
I did so bad. I had a 1.7. I was doing music business.
What year would this have been?
2006.
Okay.
I was doing music business, and I totally botched my recording industry class, which I look back now, I'm like, everything I'm doing now, I wish I would have paid attention.
I like to.
So I just was not doing well in school and in life. And so Jimmy Seibert, who's the pastor at Antioch here, of which we're all members of, they were up for Thanksgiving, and we were talking, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you consider moving to Waco and starting over?" And I was like, "Great, get me out of here." So I worked at Pine Cove that summer, and August, I was done, and I moved straight from Pine Cove to Waco in 2007. And so coming up on 20 years, I guess, in next August. Yeah.
And you showed up and
I showed up and lived with some guys, one named Joel Sanders, who was with All People's Church in San Diego for a long time. And another guy named Yale Wall, who is at a church in Indianapolis.
Married to Autumn
Wall, who's a long-time Antioch people.
Yeah.
And man, my life was changed. I went to Juarez, Mexico, which was the last year we went to Juarez as a college group before we started going to Edinburgh, Texas, because the next year Juarez became the murder capital of the world. And so taking 500 college students there was not the best idea.
Didn't seem like a good idea.
That was my senior thesis, was in high school, was on Juarez.
Was it really?
Yeah, murder capital of the world. Can confirm.
Can confirm due to research. But at that point, going there, that is where my life made the turn to where I want to do this the rest of my life. I want to be a part of the church. I want to share the gospel. I want to go around the world, tell people about Jesus, and this is what I want to do. So I did not go to school the next year. I did the Antioch Discipleship School, and then I went back to school. So I went to McLennan Community College, and it's a community college, so it should take you 2 years. I say it was the best 4 years of my life. It took me 4 years to get an associate's degree.
Really?
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Well, I did 1 year off, and then 2 more after that. So technically 3. But I got a general studies degree, which means I'm generally great at everything. But my last year I did a year of jazz theory in guitar, which was really fun. So that's how I got to Waco.
And then you stayed in Waco.
I was in Waco until 2012. Okay. So Carolyn, my wife.
That's when I showed up. You're like, I got to get out of here.
I got to get out of here.
He's out, bro.
Carolyn and myself, we met during, if you are listening, you've been in Waco, and it's like, where do I go in the summer? I'm not going home. It's like you kind of just hang out with the people that are still here.
Bro, it's a thing.
It's thing.
Like your summer life group is like its own thing.
It's its own thing. It's like
its own entity that lives for like 10 weeks and then never again.
You never see the people again. And then you see them 10 years, like, didn't I know you? It's like a mishmash of people. Yes. It's so funny. So, but all my roommates, like, they're in the same like life group with Carolyn. We met, we dated for 2 months. I broke up with her. And then 8 months later, we dated again. And then we got engaged 5 months after that in Kansas City.
Yep.
Both of y'all dated, broke up with your girlfriends, got back together. A few months later, engaged
in Kansas City.
Wow.
Yep. I think there's something special about
the other
Kansas
Preston
City.
Speaking now.
Do what?
The other Preston speaking now. Wait, what was special?
No, I was just. There's something special about Kansas City
and
getting engaged.
Loose Park.
Subtitle of this podcast. Like, keep coming after that.
Shout out to Loose Park.
Yeah,
everybody knows it. We got married in May of 2012, so we're coming up on 14 years, and then we raised support, ministry partner development,
and I think getting to this next section here, you're going to talk about church planning, and I want to kind of jump back to the statement you said at the beginning of this of, I don't feel qualified to talk about business ventures. And I don't think that's true.
Sure.
Because if you actually spend a lot of time in a church, the more you realize, oh, this is a business.
Oh, 100%.
And if you spend a lot of time in a city, you realize, oh, this is a business. Like nonprofits are businesses.
Sure.
Different model, still business, money still needed, systems, taxes, filings, it is a different thing. And I think, and then you also have the other side businesses Carolyn's part of, and you can maybe touch on here about photo booth and then getting back into working with John in a minute. Yeah. But I think planning church is really hard. And part of this is because you obviously got rocked by Jesus. This is the intention. You go out to Baton Rouge and the idea is so often, hey, we're just going to love Jesus and tell people that we love Jesus. And then you have to somehow work an entity around this, a business formation. And that's when the systems start to expose everyone's gunk.
All the motives.
Yes. So like what did you learn about the church? What did you learn about businesses in that season?
Man, this is
oodles and oodles.
Figuratively, the spider web of this could go in 1,700 different directions. And so I'm going to try to keep it as generic as possible. So we moved to Baton Rouge in September of 2012. And there's a lot of nuance. I have to be like, what do I share? So we were 24 and 23. Carolyn and myself were
youngsters.
I think Michelle and I were 23 and 22 when we got married. So yeah.
And so it went like this. Lead pastor was 26. All of us, and then his wife was 25. And then all of us were 24 and 23. All the rest of the staff, except for one girl who went to LSU in college.
It's like a summer camp.
A summer camp for
all year.
For aspiring pastors. And so we started meeting in a house. And this is business stuff. So in Baton Rouge, there was a church and they had a pastor have some issues and ended up leaving, or ended up asking to resign. And literally overnight, or like over a week, we went from about 20 people in a house to 125, because we were the new church in the city that was kind of
people. The old church folded, and they were all just told go join these.
There was sin that happened in the church, and so a lot of people left.
Yeah, but they just basically went like, "Hey, everyone, go join these guys. They're cool." So
and so
you meet in a house, 100 people show up. It's like, oh, you're a bunch of 22 to 26-year-olds. Go pastor these people.
It was really fun, and it was all hands on deck at all times. And you're in your 20s, and so you're still figuring out the balance of how much do I serve, and I'm getting paid, and I'm not really getting paid anything. And how do I serve the mission? How do I honor lead pastor? What are we doing? You don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. We're making this up as we go. Then by the next year,
sounds kind of like a startup.
Then and then by the next year, it's like, I'm 25 years old. My wife and I are talking with couples who are our age or younger, who are already having marital issues, having affairs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm 25 years old and I'm pastoring people through this stuff. And I'm like, what are we doing? And, but I wasn't thinking at the time, like, I'm like thriving. I loved it. So all this is happening, and there's a lot going on. I'm leading worship. So I think if I can be correlative with business and stuff, one thing that I've noticed a lot in business is, obviously you need to have a solid product that people can buy, that people can jump onto. But if you, as the owner or as the builder of it, if you don't, I really do think confidence and belief is so key. Like if you're not confident, and not in a prideful way, but if you're not confident in yourself or believe in yourself, then it's like that. I think that's the first line of defense. And if that isn't there, then everything else is going to unravel. When I went into Baton Rouge, I told myself, I said, I will, because of my desire for excellence in music and in worship, I will gather the best musicians in Baton Rouge. And there are other churches in Baton Rouge that are incredible and have incredible musicians. But it started to happen, and we started gathering great musicians. And I don't know if it's because they saw what I was doing or what it was, but like over my tenure, it's like we had really, really great musicians and like a solid band. Like I would have put it up against most people, most churches. And that's something I really valued, was being, no, we're going to be excellent in what we do in worship. So yeah. You have a question?
How long were you there?
Yeah.
And then when did you transition to Waco? So what year was that?
So I was there for 7 years. When we moved to Waco in 2019, moved back to Waco, we had 1.5 pastoral changes. So one, and then we moved, and another one happened after we moved. It got really tough. It was really, really hard. I have a song, my song called Dying Seed. The chorus goes, 80% bad, turned up to 11. Because people would ask, like, how was it? I was like, it was 80% bad, 20% fine. And so I kind of just put it into my song. It's like 80% bad. But I have so many relationships from Baton Rouge, and I learned a lot. I went in, and this is probably a great lesson for business too. Went in trying to control everything, control every outcome. And now I'm just like, God, I have to rely on you. And like, I can only control what I can control, which is my response to people and to my situation, not if money's happening or if so-and-so thinks this about me or whatever. So I can't control these things. So yeah, we moved back to Waco in 2019. That is the extremely short version of Baton Rouge. Oh, and we started a photography company in 2013.
So this whole time,
so
Carolyn was working as a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
And you learned it as well.
Yeah, I learned how to second shoot with her.
Y'all are second shooting, editing, invoicing, starting to raise kids.
Yes.
Working for a church, systems, recruiting people, management.
Wow, sounds more awesome than I've ever considered.
Well, yeah, and my dad's a pastor.
Yes.
We grew up in the church. And our church has a passion for Jesus and his purposes in the earth. So we're always being part of a missionary sending movement where people are going overseas and coming back and going to other cities and coming back. And it's this common thing where pastors show up and they say, well, I'm not leading a church anymore. Now what? Mm-hmm. They can often sell themselves short that they don't have any skills that are applicable. Well, I've just been a pastor. I can't do anything else.
I get it.
So it takes someone bumping into you like on the street during like a 4th of July parade or something to like, I don't know.
Interesting.
So
that was a good lead in. Well, so when we moved back, I worked for a medical company, which is right down my alley.
I forgot about that.
Which, as a practice, like it was a really cool. I enjoyed doing it, but it was a really rough ending, and it overlapped with COVID, and so I stopped. I only was there for 5-ish months because I would travel everywhere and train people how to do AED and CPR and all that stuff, which I love doing. But travel became non-existent, and it just was it was a rough time. And then
Did you guys fly much during that period? Just as a
COVID
pause.
I didn't like choose to or not to.
Because I was flying like once a month, at least.
We flew one time, I think, to Boston, and looking back, my only regret is I didn't buy like a full body suit to wear through the airport. It's just like, because now it'd be
hazmat suit.
Because right now it'd be so weird.
Yeah.
Like, but I just wanted to do it when people would be like, yes, I would like buy a beekeeper suit.
Yes.
And then just walk through the airport hand in hand with my wife in matching beekeepers. Something like that.
Yes. Exactly.
Just like duct tape over my nose and then walk through the airport.
Like all of the crazy like ways people were covering their mouths, and like everything was fine. It's like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
They're like, don't sit next to, you can have someone on the aisle in the window, but not in the middle. And you'll be fine.
Yeah, and you're fine. That solved all of the air circulation.
We should have the COVID episode where we just talk about insanity.
Just reminisce. Anyway, as you were speaking, you just brought back up some.
So and then I worked again for Antioch for 2 years, like worship
Antioch,
staff,
Waco.
yeah, Antioch Waco, and then was done in June of 22. Yeah, and then we met, and then in Woodway they have a little 4th of July parade, and Carolyn and myself were out there, and the kids, and we ran into one of Carolyn's old roommates, which was Betsy McGovern or Betsy Morris. And that is when I met John. Me and John talk, and I don't remember what we said, but he's like, "Hey, you want to go meet at Starbucks tomorrow?" Oh, gross. And then we met at Starbucks on July 5th.
Did we? Was it Starbucks?
The next day.
It was Starbucks. I was like, sure. I didn't get anything to drink.
No.
God forbid.
I found out later.
While holding your values tight.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really appreciate about Preston.
The one hill I will die on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met the next day. It was July 5th.
Well.
And I mean, for lack of better words, it was, would you like a job? Like, oh, no. I'm flipping houses. Do you want to come work with me and flip houses? And I'm like, I can't hang a shelf.
And you were working at the church at the time.
No, I was done. So I didn't have a job at that point.
So no job.
Oh my gosh. We almost moved to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Because I was getting offered a job.
You were interviewing.
I was interviewing and then later offered a job to work at a church in Colorado Springs, which was like a dream. And then they brought us out there, and then I got back and called John while I was working on a site. I'm like literally like wiring lights together. I'm like, what am I doing? And like, this is not, I could do it. I figured it out. And in that time, so it's July to November. In that time, John had offered a full-time gig to work with you. And so when I got back from Colorado Springs, I called him and I was like, so tell me more about what this would entail. And I remember in the hallway light upstairs, like I was putting that light together and the fixture.
Yep.
And I was on the phone with you. And yeah, that was almost 4 years ago.
So why did you decide to get into that?
Why did you decide to do that crazy thing instead of going to your dream destination?
What I'm hearing is you worked at a church, worked in nonprofits, medical happened, stopped.
Yeah.
You can't hang a shelf, therefore you'll go into full-time construction.
Flipping houses. Well, yeah, it was, Carolyn and myself didn't feel like the church in Colorado was amazing, but we just didn't feel like it was the right thing for us at the time. And so I don't know. There wasn't anything that was like magical about like, I want to work with John McGovern because we will flip houses. But I think it was more, you were able to communicate the vision, like the dream, like the grand dream that we still refer to, which is what, like a 10, 15-year-old vision. And I think I saw it because I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer. And so that wasn't hard for me to see. I saw it and I had an offer. And so I was in. And that started, I think we probably pivoted 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, at least 6 or 7 or 8 times in everything we've done in the past 4 years, maybe more. So,
because shortly after that, I lost my job.
That's right. Wait.
This is kind of hard to like mentally figure out where you, John, just lost your job, and somehow you have employed Preston
and others.
Yeah, for like 4+ years.
Very thankful.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that is part of what I've loved about working with Preston and on the journey. Because it's been a really unique season of being able to lean into what the Holy Spirit has called us to do and being able to talk about that and pray through that and the craziness of it, and then also the realities of it and the hard parts of it too. Because like when it came down to me losing my job, it's like, hey, well, actually, I think the beginning, like in our conversations, and this is funny to me that like you chose to stay in Waco, because like I did not sell it hard. I wasn't like, this is going to be amazing, it's going to be great. Like our original employment agreement was like, hey, I know I've got 3 months, and I'm going to do everything I can beyond that. But past that, like, it's not a guarantee. I'm just going to be open-handed with you and everything that we've got, and we can walk it out together.
Mhm.
And then when you're like, yeah, I want to do that, it's like, this is the right dude.
How many kids do you have?
Think 5.
5 now. You didn't have the twins yet.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, when we found out we were having twins, we were at the Baylor Club, and I come after the appointment, and I go up to John, and I just like, John, I'm having twins, like, in tears. Like, how do I do this? I need a raise now.
It's like, yep, that's cool. We're still figuring out the next season.
That was almost 3 years ago.
So yeah, that was a crazy season.
That was 3 years ago.
I got news that I was losing my source of income.
That was before ShamWow.
And then 1 week later, Barnabas, our third, was born.
Oh, yeah.
And then not too long after that, you got the news that you were pregnant, which was already like, oh, gracious, you weren't planning on having kids. And then you got news that it was twins. So it was just like,
Gosh.
Yep, just stacking expenses.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
praise God.
But yeah, so what I've learned, as a dreamer who, and I can say this now because, like, last week when John and I were talking through the process of the dashboard that we're building in Equilibria, John goes something along the lines of, this is how your brain works.
Yeah.
Because it was just like,
ask Preston to program.
As President, I think John was brain fried. It's like his like sparks were like going off in his robot brain. He's like, "What the heck is happening in this thing?" It's like, "How did you get from here to here?" I'm like, "This is how my brain works," and it is not 1 to 2 to 3. It's like 1 to like square to like lion to
0.05
3 to
green.
-4, and it all works. My point to that is, I had a point to that. Shoot. And see, that's
we have a good time. That's
but I think the point was that you've been working together for so long.
It's the dreams of like being a dreamer, being a visionary, being a creative. It's hard to communicate ideas and dreams and then being told at times, it's like, that's great, but what is the one thing you want to do right now? I totally get it. And I think it's a valid question, but not everybody necessarily thinks that way. And I think, John, you were one of the first people to be able to kind of compartmentalize all my ideas. And it wasn't, wow, that's a lot of ideas and I'm overwhelmed, but it's like, great, let's check to see if each one is viable. Mm-hmm. And if it's not viable, then we move on, which I had never had that. It was always like, oh, that's too many. You need to stop thinking about too many things. And it turned into, those are all cool ideas. Let's see if they work. Yeah. And for me, it was never about needing to see the idea or the vision come to fruition and making millions of dollars. It was just a validation of, you're not an insane person, like validating the way that God has made me and everybody else, like to validate how their brain works and how they process information. And so I think that was for me, that was what has kept me here. Not that I was like, I had another option, but I have felt validated. And as a creative, which over time I've learned in my professional world, like I am more of a creative than I ever thought. I'm more creative than not. And as a creative, we crave validation in our art. And art is to be seen, is to be consumed. And when our art is not seen or consumed or validated or invalidated, it's like, that's not what it means or whatever. Like, I would rather go ahead.
Talk me through validation.
Yeah.
Cool word.
Yes.
What does that mean for you? Maybe it means different things to people. Is this like, I wrote a song, validation is listens. It's someone saying that meant something to me. Like when people are trying new things and artists are trying new things and they're looking for validation.
Yeah, I think it can, obviously that word has a definition, but I think it can manifest itself differently for everybody. For me, I really do think it was as simple as I hear you and I'm listening and I want to look at it with you.
Okay.
And that's all. It's like, oh, I guess no, you start crying. like that's all I think. I think at the heart of most people, but I'd say specifically with people who are more creatively bent, we just want to say, I just want you to hear me out, or just listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have thought in validation. So when we first, like, for Guardian Collective, which is a social members club, public space, car vault that we're still working on, we were picking up one of John's cars. And I was like, what if we started a multi-million-dollar vintage car and guitar sales shop? And like, that's how it started. And
we spitballed on it for a minute because we were driving to Dallas. It was like an hour and a half.
Well, what if?
And then at some point in the conversation, which is typical, is like, yeah, but that's just like, just gabbing or whatever. But I think what's been really cool in our journey is taking a pause right there and questioning the questioning, right? Like, but why not? Why can't we? Like, we're just assuming that it can't be done. Doesn't mean that it can, but we're not even validating this. Like, we're not even testing it. We're not even asking. We would just, well, that was a fun conversation and leave it at that.
Yeah. I think that's where y'all are a good duo, because I would shoot down every one of those ideas that Preston couldn't be.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, maybe my bandwidth's not there, but John, you're really good at saying like, okay, like test it until it dies. It works, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you're just open to giving it a go. And it sounds like it's been empowering for you.
100%, because I'm not asking with idea generation, stuff like that. What I'm not asking is, this has to happen. What I'm saying is, can it happen? And if it doesn't, like, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, it has to happen for me to feel validated. It's like, I don't care. Like, if we go through step one and it's like, oh, wow, that's stupid. Like, I have no problem saying that. It doesn't bother me at all.
And there's been plenty of those.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, probably the cheapest is, the toilet store, which I still want to.
You want to open a toilet store?
No, it's called the toilet store, but it's.
You sell toilets?
It's like, no, it's like Amazon. It's like Amazon competitor, but it just has everything. And it's just called the toilet store.
The toilet store.
Where did you get that? The toilet store?
The toilet store.
I'm so lost, but
it markets itself. Like I said,
toiletstore.com,
great.
Prelitfireworks.com.
Yep.
Our list of URLs that if you click on them, they redirect you to audaciousplayground.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. And so I think, like I said, I say in the human, for humans, and what I've learned, like through pastoring and in business and in creative world, it's just people just need to be heard. And when I say validated, I meant just like, I want to acknowledge you and what you're saying. Pardon me. And that's what I think, other than Carolyn, I didn't really have that, and not just someone who can operate in that dream level, but also has a systematic mindset of being able to be like, of saying this could be something. And which, when in turn, when we're writing like our Consular Capital vision and kind of who is Consular Capital, one of my favorite things in it is, and we haven't gone back to it that much, but I think about it all the time, is the why not us? Like, when people bring up an idea, it's like, well, why not? Like, why not us? Like, we'll do that. Or it has helped me. And it's just another thing is being a dreamer. The other part of that was we want to be dreamers with God. Audacious playground, the audacious dreams of God. Of like Joseph had these audacious dreams, and then going to tell his brothers, "Hey, you will all bow down to me one day. That's what God told me." And the brothers like, "You're an idiot. We're going to kill you." And
They didn't want to test out the MVP first.
they did not want to test out the
They
MVP.
did not want to test the MVP. They're like, we can't let you get to MVP.
No, he was not.
Here's
MVP.
A pit.
He was most valuable pit dweller. But that was
our top award at Concert Capital every year.
Yes,
the MVP,
the most valuable pit dweller. But dreaming with God, but then also he was able to interpret dreams, and the cupbearer and the baker, and he remembered the dreams and he interpreted those dreams, and then he interpreted the dreams of the Pharaoh, and there was no invalidation of those dreams. He's like, yes, like you will serve the king, the Pharaoh again. And it's not like, that's a stupid dream. Like, you're in prison right now. You know what happens to prisoners here in Egypt. They all get eaten by rats. And so I think it has empowered me being empowered has helped open up the door to sit with people and be, no, I want to know your dream. How can we make it happen?
Yeah.
And I think, because when we first sat down and we were talking together, it was like, unto what? And the current item was flipping houses. It's like, well, this is what I'm doing now. But the unto what was always shaping culture, like creating culture. And I mean, you were very clear, like, I'm a musician. Like, that's what I love doing. That's what I was created to do. And that is what I saw as well. It's like, well, God's doing something. And it's like, God doesn't shoehorn us into things that we're not made for. But he does use seasons that are outside our comfort zone to give us the keys and skills that we need inside what he created us for.
Well, it's the classic path. It's like the path isn't straight. And like going into capital investment business world, I was like, you could have told me that 15 years ago. I'd be like, no, I will always be a vocational minister like that. But it's just like this winding road. But it's so interesting how it is coming back into what I desire to do the most, which is help the music industry and help musicians achieve their dreams. And that is taking a few roads and it's going through different ways. But so how can I support artists? How can I support the music business, the music industry, but not in the way that we've seen it, but in a way that's new, in a way that has the purity of the Holy Spirit and the audacious like nature of God, and redeeming the music industry for the Lord. And that's what I want to do. And that's Equilibria doesn't directly like, this shows God. Like like it's a tool to help musicians, to help labels streamline what they do and get things quicker so that they can go back to focusing on the art, on the creative, and get their hands out of the coordination and the muck of everything that's going on.
So take us into the elevator pitch for the current idea for what's going through Equilibria. It sounds like you have this, because you're a musician, because you've been in this borough service for so long time, you're able to empathize with people, these pain points. And artists want validation. They want to put this art out there, but then it turns out in 2026 to release art, music, whatever else into the world, there's this entire back end process first.
Yeah, I mean, minus the finances that it could take, like if you don't know how to do your own production, and minus certain elements, the biggest cog that happens is not the creative ideas and not the ability to play the music, but it's where do things get dropped. And it's just like in construction, it's just like in real estate and flipping houses. it's in finances, it's in every world. Like, where where do the things get dropped along the way, and how do they get dropped? Who dropped it? And so if we can make a streamlined process from writing to release or ideation to distribution that is extremely simple, that you get on the site and you see, oh, this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's complete. Like, if you do these things within each thing, it's going to happen. And on top of that, people in your label or um, publishing house, whatever you want to call it, um, they don't have to manage that project. The agent, who we'll name Gary, um, the agent will manage the project from ideation through distribution, up to distribution right now. And so it's essentially if we're going from floor 1 to floor 2, it is your project manager from writing through release. Like, that's what it is. So,
And it sounds, what I'm seeing, especially in integration to this, is often in these project flows, the most expensive part of the process and the most weak part of the process is the human in charge of it.
because of
Their
time.
labor costs, their time, and they lose focus, they drop the ball. Like,
Yes.
and
But it's like that in every industry.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all over the place. And there's this backlash of AI is coming for our jobs. Like, the reality is that new jobs can be created in new ways we can't even fathom. But we're going to speed up the industry and actually create a better product for people that empowers people, their dreams to come true. And this is going to allow more of that.
And I know we need to land the plane. I was talking to a label, vice president of publishing for a label, and they were informing, like, one of their biggest struggles right now is radio. So radio stations are getting purchased by massive companies like a BlackRock or, the trillion-dollar companies. And then their payouts for songs are like halving. And he's like, that's really tough for us because when I was meeting with him, it triggered my thoughts while I've been working on this. I was like, oh, well, if this pipeline, like, what, and I told him, I said, what if what we're building can double the amount of songs that you were able to get through the pipeline? And so therefore you're making back what you've lost. And it was like, oh, like, he's like, yeah, like, that would be huge. And so I when I don't there aren't numbers that indicate this will double your output, but in theory, if things don't get dropped and if the creatives are able to create at the same pace, but they're able to capitalize on the creativity and it gets put in a project pipeline over and over and over again, then in theory it should X amount.
In starting the project, like, I think the rallying cry was half the price, half the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, trying to hit both of those metrics. If we're able to deliver a tool that provides the industry with that, that's a huge competitive advantage, or as a safeguard against, profits being cut, royalties being cut down on radio spins and things like that.
And I think the agentic part is going to be the game changer.
Yep.
So, but yeah,
landing the plane.
Let's land it.
The bring it home question.
Oh, yes.
Where do you see God in your story?
God is. I'll go back to when we planted Baton Rouge, or Antioch, Baton Rouge. I was really wanting, like, I remember praying, God, I need like a father or a counselor. Like my parents are great, love Jesus. So something outside of that. And so clearly, I felt like the Lord said, I will be your counselor and I will be your father. And it was so clear. And that was in 2012. And he is not that I don't trust Carolyn or I don't trust y'all. Like, it's not that, but I don't entrust myself into man. I entrust my heart, my mind, my soul to the Lord. And so he ultimately is the only one trustworthy. And again, please hear me, like, Carolyn's trustworthy. Like, it's not that. It's I'm putting my trust, my hope, my all of my what I need, I'm putting that in the Lord. And He's always provided. He's never left us dry. And even if we lost our house, lost all these things, like He will always provide. It's not materially the issue. The thing is that God is always providing. God is always trustworthy. He is my hope. And I think that's the past few years, that's kind of what it's turned into. Is like, I can put my hope in the Lord. That's who God is. You put your hope in God.
Good stuff.
And then my recommendation is Walking on Water by Madeline L'Engle for all you creatives.
Good read.
Good read. Good times. So that's me in a mammoth-sized shell.
Yeah. I'd love to wrap us up. My observation in working with you now for
Almost 4 years, yeah.
4 years, is your willingness to take bold risks in calculated ways, like with the Lord, of being able to lean into the more of God. And that's been really, really cool that there have been multiple things that we've prayed through over the last few years that's like, hey, the wise are saying this is nuts. And watching that actually happen and come to fruition. And in that, watching a journey and a transition from a place of like knowing that you were a musician, knowing that you were capable of things, but not fully knowing how to do it, to now like bringing a product to market, contacting, friends, friends of friends in the industry, and really putting yourself out there for things that God has shown you. So it's a really cool process to see that come into fruition. So there it is.
Go get your pie, John.
Yep, time for some pie for me. Mm-hmm. All right.
Like and subscribe if you like pie.
Probably less people than you think.
And we will catch you next time.
Sadly.
Yeah.